I don't like that style of behaviour from club owners and executives inside club. I think it's completely and utterly unnecessary. If you're going to fire somebody, fire them. You don't need to lead the media into that particular scenario, because ultimately you're making a decision to better the football club. And whilst you might enjoy a relationship with the media, and the media might be hounding you to give them comment and so on and so forth, it doesn't mean you have to do that. Now, the problem for me on the other side of the argument is, without the media, whether I like it or I don't, sometimes I don't, without the media, football wouldn't be what it is. The reasons why football was in such an elevated position of influence and opportunity and financial health for those that participate in it, I might add, is because of the media, because of Sky Sports, because of the demand from the broadcasters to broadcast this game around the world, and because of the nature of how it's reported by all the newspapers and all the media outlets. Now, that doesn't give them a license to say and do what they want. And a lot of the time it is media putting two and two together, using common sense. A guy that's sitting at the bottom of the league in a club that's had a huge investment into it recently by a Czech billionaire that won't want to see his team dropping into the championship, with all the pressures that go with it. A set of owners that have spent 160 million quid on transfer fees in a summer when they don't normally back the manager to that extent. It's not difficult to work out that you are walking a very thin line, and sooner rather than later, if you don't start winning some games, you're going to lose your job. So do I think...
So you think it's not far off the mark that David Moyes should be shown the door if indeed he loses a game like the one against Everton this weekend?
You're moving into the territory of starting to defend the indefensible, because you've got to start winning football matches. You can't make the position worse. You can't survive on the fact there's another game around the corner. Eventually there won't be another game around the corner and you'll be in the championship. Now, I'm not advocating in any shape or form for David Moyes to be sacked. I'm a great admirer of David Moyes on many ways. I do think he needs to make decisions a bit quicker sometimes, but I do think that he's a very capable manager. I think he did a wonderful job at Everton, and they could probably look at that, close their eyes and wish him back there. And that's part of this discussion, I suspect.
Well, it is, because could a situation actually conceivably occur when a manager's sacked for putting one club in a relegation fight and then is hired by another club seeking to stave off the very same problem, relegation? In other words, can you see a scenario whereby he goes from West Ham, not of his own choosing, and ends up again at Everton?
Well, of course you can. But is it a relationship or a scenario that you think is steeped in sense? If there are not personalities that are still in the mix at one particular club that know this individual, that know what he did there, and I'm talking about Bill. If Bill Kenwright is still in situ as chairman of Everton, you can see why those dots get joined up backwards. Right? If you're looking at it in isolation, completely different people, same football club, obviously, completely different ownership model, completely different set of people in the boardroom, then you'd look at it and go, this guy's put West Ham in the bottom three. Why in God's name would we want him in our place? So, because this has got a unique situation, because there are personalities that formed a very formidable team once upon a time, that would probably, the idea that David Moyes wasn't close to getting the Everton job last time round is probably very significant, because I think he was very, very close, train journey close to getting the Everton job last time round. And I think that the two discussions we've got, is it classless and without style to be in a media-centric business? Football is a media-centric business, and not to expect the media to have the jump on certain things. I think that's naive. I think it goes with the territory. And the reasons why football managers and football players are so well remunerated are because of media interest and because of the nature of the media business that sports has now become. So you can't have one without the other. Should the owners and executives of football clubs feel the necessity to brief media in advance of briefing their own manager? No, I think that's a bit classless. I think that's a bit lacking in style and substance. But again, it's part and parcel of a media business, and football is a media business. Could you make a case for David Moyes going to Everton? Of course you could, because David Moyes has been successful there in a different guise, and he wasn't unsuccessful at West Ham for a period of time. But right now, in the here and now, David Moyes is at West Ham, and he's got to get a result against Everton on the weekend, or this self-fulfilling prophecy, or this briefed-in narrative is going to find a conclusion pretty soon, and it will mean David will lose his job.
Jim White and Simon Jordan. Monday to Friday mornings from 10 on AM, on DAB, via the talkSPORT app and on your smart speaker. talkSPORT.